Hi, I am here today to talk to Julie Stewart of Food for the Journey. How are you today?
Good, great. Thank you. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Tell me a bit about Food for the Journey.
There's a world of information and misinformation out there on supplements and how to be well and articles and all kinds of things. And people go off often on tangents to try to find solutions to problems that they have. But the truth of it is, we are a whole being, body, soul, spirit, and everything that encompasses what contributes to our health or well-being, or not, as the case may be. What nutritional therapy does, it seeks to look at people as an individual, work out what their signs and symptoms are, what they're currently doing, and basically looking at an overview of what's going wrong and giving them the problems that they're experiencing. It then seeks to sort of find solutions to correct those and a plan going forward. So effectively, it's a lifestyle change. It's information giving. So once somebody has that information, it's done. It's not a diet. It's not something you do for 3 months. It's gaining information to understand how your body's working and ensuring that you have the tools that you need to go forward for health and well-being in as far as that can possibly be exceeded with everything that you have in your background.
So it's quite a
Obviously,
scientific approach to that then, isn't it? There is laboratory testing involved to make sure
for
that
sure.
you're working out exactly what they need. So the prescription, if for want of a better word, is quite specific to
Specific.
the
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah, that's right. You can do everything from, I could have I offer a 20-minute clarity call with anybody who wants it for free. And on that call, I can kind of get a fairly basic understanding of what they've got going on and what they're probably going to need to do. And I can do that for anyone. So on the website, you can book in for a free clarity call. From there, you can have a basic one-line test. You can have to give you some results and a potential way forward, or we can do a full analysis of everything you've got going on and a program to go forward that essentially walks you through to kind of until you get the results that you're looking for. So it's a really interesting way to ascertain what you personally have going on. There's a number of different tests that help. One is a hair mineral test, which analyzes all the baseline good minerals that you have stored, what you have too many of, what you don't have enough of, and also any of the toxic ones like mercury, lead, aluminium, and all of those. We'll then find a way to balance those minerals, and once you do that, that then counterbalances and knocks onto vitamins and other macronutrients like protein, carbohydrate, and fat, and gets everything back in homeostasis, in equilibrium for your body to kind of work well. Because just generally, when you've got symptoms, it's because your body's telling you something isn't quite right. I haven't got enough of what I need. I've got too much of what I don't need, and it's asking you for help, and it's asking you to look at it. But if you go to the doctors, they simply give you a green prescription pill to combat symptoms. They don't look deeply at what's actually going wrong fundamentally at the root problem.
Absolutely. And there can be food intolerances as well, can't there?
Yeah, food intolerance is another test that I do that will actually highlight the things that you are struggling with. So I do a food intolerance test, and that will basically give you an idea of sort of at least 250 foods that you potentially have having a reaction to. That is usually caused by sort of a leaky gut, where the gut has been compromised through the course of living, things like antibiotics, poor sleep, poor diet, too much stress, alcohol. All of those things cause the gut to become compromised, inflamed, and the body kind of just there is a bit of a science to it, and I won't bore you with that right now, but that's how that happens. And once you remove offending foods and repair the damage, then invariably you can put those foods back with no problem. There are things we were designed to eat and things we weren't designed to eat. And obviously there's lots and lots of problems, with the food that we have available to us today. It's not food. And I think people just need to get back to understanding what their body actually needs and what it doesn't need, more importantly.
And once you work out what the body needs, then you have a couple of different ways of helping people achieve the input of what they need through cookery lessons, learning how to cook properly, as well as nutrients and vitamins. Is that right?
That's right. So there's any number of things that people can kind of avail themselves of, from something very simple as a sort of a basic clarity call to give them some pointers if they're already interested in health and well-being and have some idea. And there's sort of other bespoke things. So, they might want to have a shopping trip, an understanding of how to shop, whether it's online or physically in a supermarket if they're local to me, or a cookery lesson to teach them how to translate what they buy in the supermarket into things that will actually be delicious to eat, because it's all very well saying, go and eat lettuce and tomatoes, but kind of, on a cold winter's day, that's not very exciting. So it's about making food, food that you want to eat, it's about doing things like, where people have cravings, it's like doing things like creating what I call a treat tray. So I'd kind of create sort of, a healthy hot chocolate, so instead of like, pizza and, and chocolate brownies, I'd be creating things like, walnut coated maple with maple syrup and, sort of smoked salmon, avocado and, on sort of a gluten-free bread or cracker or something like that. There's a whole world of ways of creating, something new. So you're not saying, it's not depriving you of something. It's actually just introducing what is possible and what's enjoyable, and having a whole other approach to food. So one of the other areas is actually around coaching and mindset, because it's not just about sort of saying, you need to eat this and giving somebody a prescriptive instruction, because that in itself, it doesn't really work. People need to know the hows and obviously have an understanding of what works in a way that fits in with their lifestyle, and that they can physically do it. Because, I've been doing this forever and I make it sound like it's a walk in the park, but for some people this is difficult. So I do, the whole purpose of it is life coaching around helping people to know how to apply it to their lives. And that's very much part of the program that I offer.
Okay, and is most of your work done one-on-one, or is there group courses or group work that happens with your customers?
I do a lot of one-to-ones, but I've got a couple of exciting new projects coming up where I'm going to kind of be having, there are going to be groups that people can actually join in, so that A, it's cost less, and B, they might be able to kind of ascertain what they need to get from that group work. And if they can't, then they can dive into a sort of a one-off, one-to-one sort of coaching session where they can kind of top up and understand better what they don't understand from the group work. So there's lots of exciting things coming up in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah. And these upcoming events, would they be online courses and online group work, or would they be retreats, or a mixture of the two?
A mixture of the two. I'm going to do an online one because simply that's the world we've kind of all retreated into, and that makes it easier for people to come, because oftentimes people are really struggling. They're struggling emotionally. They're struggling, with the thought of kind of coming out. So I want to make that as easy as possible. So there is going to be the online one, but then where I can do things locally, and I have a little business here, a little bed and breakfast business. Well, actually, it's bed, breakfast, and evening meal business here, where people can come and actually have some chilled out time 2 miles from the beautiful Bude coastline, and actually, have a retreat session as well. Got a lady who comes and does treatments if anybody wants those. So yeah, it's a really nice idea, and retreats is something I'm going to sort of work more on going forward.
Yeah, and where is your bed and breakfast business?
So this is it's in between Bude and, well, a little village called Kilkhampton, but just it's 2 miles from Bude in Cornwall. So
In
North
Cornwall.
Cornwall. Yeah.
So a lovely part of the world. Now you've got an
Yeah,
excellent
beautiful.
website, Food for the Journey, nutritional consultations. So it talks through all the different things that you do. It's really about combining nutritional therapy, food preparation and knowledge, lifestyle adjustment. I mean, that's something people
Absolutely.
really need to do. We need to get a
Yeah.
grip of what we're actually doing, see some of the science behind it, courses and group work, and just giving an all-round understanding of how food and nutrients in particular can bring about your optimal health. And that optimal health
Absolutely.
is the holy grail for everybody, isn't it? Really,
It
that's
is.
what we all want.
And in the world we live in today, you see people are feeling sick and tired. They're feeling worn out. They're feeling tired. They're feeling stressed. And very oftentimes it's the body giving us symptoms of something or signs that something's wrong. And I have never ever ceased to be amazed that when you actually put in the nutrients the body needs, take out the things that cause it a stress and strain, how actually people can feel well. And I would sort of even stick my neck out to say that within 4 weeks you can feel like a different person. And one thing that the hair mineral test does is it gives you a bit of an idea of what's likely to come about in your life in terms of illness, chronic ill health, if you don't correct the problems that the test is showing that you have. Because a hair mineral test simply is a snapshot of what's going on at one level. If it's in the hair, it's also in the tissues, and so therefore it's replicated. So really what you're doing is you're looking at the tip of an iceberg, and the body is saying to you, look, I need more of this, I need less of this, I need this to be removed, and I need these things to be changed. And when we get into the the nuts and bolts of doing that, then things do change, and the body heals itself, and it's incredible.
I said it's very much a natural science, isn't it? It's not rocket
Absolutely.
science. The tests are
Absolutely.
there, as
Yeah.
you said. The tip of the iceberg is a good analogy there. The hair reveals a lot about
Yeah.
what's going on. if you
Well,
analyze
the
it.
hair is a safe dumping ground for the body, you see. The body tries to store in places that it's not going to be harmful. Now, just to sort of say, because this is going to be a major one for most people, the reason that people are putting on weight around their middle is because there are fat cells around the abdomen to protect the insides of the abdomen. And what's happening is that the body is storing toxic waste there. Now, until the body actually, so people go on diets to try and lose weight. But if you're storing toxicity around your middle in fat cells, there is no way your body is going to release those fat cells because it's holding on to toxicity. So you must get rid of the toxicity before you can get rid of the fat. Otherwise, the body will see itself as poisoning you, and it won't do that. It will burn muscle before it will let any of that go. So that's the thing, is it's about getting the mediums in that will eliminate the toxicity. So I'm talking about things like aluminium from aluminium-based deodorants. I'm talking about things like mercury from fillings in your mouth and vaccines, God forbid. I'm talking about things like uranium and cadmium and lead. There are mediums by which I can, allow get the body in a place where it can actually extract, toxic minerals and get rid of it in excretion sites like, the stool, the urine, and the skin, and we get it out, and then the body can begin to heal itself.
And these initial sessions that you have, how did they go about connecting with you on that?
On the website, there is something called Clarity Call, and all they need to do is to book in for a Clarity Call.
Yeah, so under nutritional consultations, then we've got the book a free call, which is the sort of 30-minute, 20-minute clarity call, as you put it, which is a good way for people to try before they buy, if you like.
That's right. That's right.
So I hope that people connect with you, Julie. You've got an amazing business there. Let's get these people talking to you. Let's get them doing their clarity calls. Let's start a process. There's a reason why they might be coming to you, aches or pains, or there's something not quite right. Most people know. It could be any one of a number of things. People know something's not quite right.
Yeah. And the thing I would say is that what people tend to do is they say, well, I gave up bread, but that's not enough. You can't just remove one thing, because it's likely not to be just one thing. And in addition to that, once you've removed stuff, you actually there's a 4R protocol with nutritional therapy: remove, repair, replace, and repopulate. And, so it's important to do all of those steps. It's no good just doing one thing in isolation. It's got to be much more than that. It's looking at people as a whole.
Well, listen, it's a natural science. You're an expert in that field. You're keen to connect with people. So good luck, and thank you very much for today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope that many, many people watch this and connect with you, and that it becomes the start of their journey to a better them.
Absolutely.